Hey guys, Petzlman 945 here. Welcome back to another video in my series of ranking One Piece characters by various things. In this video, another idea from someone I'm on a Discord server with, which I just thought was absolutely awesome. This idea is ranking One Piece characters based on their bending potential in the Avatar: The Last Airbender universe. And I just absolutely love this idea because I love One Piece and I love Avatar: The Last Airbender very, very much. So, I thought that this would be a perfect tier list. Um, to do. So, as for the tiers, we have Avatar level, very powerful, good bender, needs practice slash weak abilities, and not a bender. Um, and for each of these, I'm gonna kind of like base it off vibes as to which of the four bending types I think they could possibly be. And yeah, it's mostly just another vibes based tier list. I think Absalom is not a bender. Um, Ace is like, I feel like with this kind of tier list, the Logias are kind of a code here. Um, I think that Ace has absolutely ridiculous potential as a firebender, considering the insane stuff he could do with his flame fruit. I see no reason why that could not transfer over to being an insanely powerful firebender. Um, Alvita, I do not see being a bender. Alkiji, even though he has ice powers, he could totally be a water bender. I could totally see that being a thing. Um, Very interesting how we've got like such extremes going on here. Ooh, um, hmm. So, I mean, like, his Devil Fruit has, like, the powers of music and shit. Um, so, I'm thinking, what kind of, maybe airbending? Potentially? Like, kind of manipulating the sound is manipulating the air? I think I would put him in like weak abilities because I think he could maybe do something, but it's nothing crazy. Um, Arlong, I'm gonna try and like limit the amount that I put up in Avatar level because I could easily do that with a lot of characters. So I'm gonna say Arlong is very powerful because fishmen, by their very nature, manipulate the water. So therefore, every fishman in One Piece would make for a insanely powerful waterbender. Buggy, I just do not see having any bending powers at all. Whitebeard is the most. In fact, actually, I think what I'm gonna do for this is I'm gonna have four characters in the avatar level tier, and they can each represent one element. I really like that idea. And for this case, I think Whitebeard has got to be the most powerful Earthbender because he literally has a Devil fruit that has earthquake powers, and he is so insanely strong, like just in terms of raw natural strength, that combined with his ability to just do crazy shit to the earth itself would kind of be unparalleled, I think. Okay. Um, Bartolomeo. Hmm. Uh, hmm. So he has the barrier devil fruit. And when I'm thinking about like elements that could kind of switch over to and transfer to naturally, I'm thinking like probably the most natural thing is an earth bender because like he could maybe manipulate rocks or the earth material that kind of act in a similar way. I think considering that fact, I would say he's probably a pretty decent earthbender. I don't think Ben Beckman would have any powers. Oh, um, Capone Beji. Hmm. Um, Capone Beji, Capone Beji. Huh. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I feel like Benji would have some kind of bending ability. Think, hmm. I think because he has the whole castle devil fruit, I think that he could probably have I think he could probably have earthbending powers. I'm gonna say he would be a decent bender. Bellamy, I actually think would be a good airbender because Bellamy's spring powers allow him to kind of um go very fast across like in that scene before Luffy punches him, he's like bouncing all over between all the buildings. I feel like he could probably be pretty good at doing something similar, but just kind of like rapid movement in the air potentially. Belmir would not. I don't think Belmir or Beppo would have any bending abilities. Um. Okay. Big Mom. Um. Oh boy. Um. I don't know. Big Mom. Who who has like all the homies which could take the form of like anything. Like there's um like she has a homie in it. We like a ton of different things. Um, in terms of like generals that she could uh like a lot of different objects that she could put onto homies. Okay, so I don't think Big Mom would be a water or airbender. I don't think an earthbender either. I think probably the best bet is like he becomes she ends up having some ability with fire because of Prometheus, but that's honestly the best I can think of. I don't think she would be very good at that idea. Bruno, I don't really see him having any powers. Okay, so I know I said that in the Avatar level tier, I was only going to have four characters, but I am actually going to have five. So obviously we're missing an Airbender right now, but Blackbeard is going up there. Not because he is the Airbender per se, but but I think that he would be the Avatar, not in terms of character, because the Blackbeard is the exact fucking opposite of what a proper Avatar should do. But I mean in terms of like the power level and the fact that not only does he have the same insane Delver that Whitebeard has, so there's that earthbending aspect, but also the fact that, like, even though his dark fruit doesn't really manipulate any other elements, I think that because of the fact that he is so good at using a Logia and generally like controlling two devil fruits, therefore manipulating elements, I think he has the highest potential of any character to be able to most competently wield all four elements at the same time. Um, Bonnie, I don't think would have um abilities, and I am gonna go a little bit out of order here if I can find him. Ooh, Taj Rudin. Hmm, I cannot find him. Here he is. Okay. So I'm grouping these three characters together because I think all three of them, due to the fact that they are giants and as such possess ridiculous amounts of natural strength, I think all three of these characters would be insanely powerful earthbenders. Um, Flowers Boy. Hmm. Flowers Boy. Hmm. I have. I don't really know. What he would have? Um, So remember Gunglad Bullet down for power. So he can disassemble and reconstruct objects. I hate to sound like a broken record here because I feel like I'm naming a lot of really powerful earthbenders in this video, but like that's kind of what Douglas Boyd would do, isn't it? Like if he can literally deconstruct and reconstruct entire objects mechanically, there's no reason why he couldn't do that with an entirety of terrain. Um, Burgess, I don't think would have any bending powers. We can get a couple out of the way here. Same thing with Cavendish, this Meow guy, and Lola. I don't think any of them would have Delphi powers. Okay. Don Chinzhou. Um, hmm. Well, Don Chinzhou. What kind of power would Don Chinzhou have? Again, I'm thinking I'm not thinking as powerful as these ones, but I think he would be a good Earthbender. Chopper would not have bending powers, and neither would Cracker. Crocodile has the sand fruit, so he automatically is a very powerful Earthbender. Um, Crocus would not have any Devil Fruit powers. Um, as bones. Hmm. I think as bones. I feel like with the nature of his Devil Fruit, it would kind of lend itself to being an airbender. So yeah, we're gonna go with that. Okay. Doflamingo might honestly be the spot for the most powerful airbender. Um, because his string powers are just ridiculous. The way he uses it and manipulates his string powers, and the fact that he uses those to fly through the air on clouds, and the way that a lot of the time they seem to be manipulating people through the air, I'm very convinced. I'm not gonna put him up there yet, only because I think that there are if there's one character coming up soon that I think may rival him. Um, well, two characters actually. But I think he would be a ridiculously powerful airbender. Dragon would not have bending powers, and I don't think X-Drake would either. Okay, this is one of the characters I was talking about. So, does Nils Devil Fruit allow him to affect the air. Hmm. 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 It's very gargoyle to me. Um, I discharge varying amounts of electricity. Okay. Um, so Enel, I mean, hmm. Oh, shoot. I just remember, God. Lightning is the most powerful form of firebending. Oh, shit. Dog. And no, and Nell has to take the place up there, dude. And Nell has to take the place for Firebender, dude. That just clicked in my head about how um lightning bending is the most powerful form of firebending, dog. And that is literally Enel's entire powers. Oh yeah, no, no, no. This would be an extremely powerful firebender. But y- just making that connection in my head, there is nothing that beats Enel in terms of firebending now, in my opinion. Um, ah, Foxy, let's just get out of the way. You and not Delphins. Okay, now, the character that I think would honestly probably be, I didn't really take much more of a cursory look over the rest of the characters, but the character that I think would probably be the most powerful airbender is Fujitora. And that is because his Devil Fruit literally controls gravity. I really do not think that you can get of a um more powerful air manipulation than literally being able to control the gravity in the air. So I think for now that this probably locks in all the Avatar level characters, but we still have quite a few characters to go. So we'll see if that ends up changing. Um, Fukuro, I think he would probably be an airbender of some type, but I don't think he would be very good at it. Okay, Garp. Um, hmm. So, um, Garp, Garp is ridiculously fucking strong. And but unlike Whitebeard, with him having that earthquake Delver, I don't think that there's anything about Garp that translates necessarily having a bending power. I don't think he would have bending powers. Genzo definitely would not. Um, okay. Boa. Would Boa have any bending powers? I mean, is that what her devil fruit is? I don't think so. But also, we're gonna get quite a few characters out of the way here. I don't think Hawkins would have any bending powers. Same thing with Helmeppo. Definitely not Higuma or Hina or Iceberg. Not really Ikiji either, to be honest, or Ideo. Inazuma, I think with the kind of Delpher he has, he would probably be a good Earthbender. Ivankov. Um, hmm, hmm, hmm. Um, I don't. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think Ivankov would have any bending powers either. Um, let's see. Wait. Hold on. Hmm. I just thought of something. So, Ivankov has his hormone Delphin, which means that he's very used to doing things that, um, let's say, manipulate the body in a lot of ways. What part of that has got to include blood? Therefore, blood bending is the most powerful form of water bending. Therefore, Ivankov is a very powerful water bender. I don't think it beats out Kiji. It's close, but uh, no. I'm gonna say no only because it's a little bit of a flimsier connection as to why Ivankov is a strong waterbender. Jabra and Sai, I don't think would have bender powers. Um, I mean, I'd probably the same thing with Diamond Jozu and Judge. 'Cause, I mean, Judge is a scientist. That doesn't really do his whole thing. So Kaido can turn into a dragon. I think that that means. Ooh. Hmm. Well, I was gonna say airbender, but I mean, a bunch of his attacks do actually breathe fire, so I think he would probably be a firebender instead. Um, Kaku and Kaku does not have a devil fruit. Calico with the bubbles would probably be a waterbender, but just not be that great at it. Um, I don't think Katakuri or Killer would have devil fruit, not devil fruits, bending powers, or King for that matter. Um, Kizaru. Hmm. What kind of element is light? Let's see itself too. Hmm. Feel like he would probably be a really powerful airbender because of the way that light tends to move around in the air. So yeah, we're gonna go with that. Koala, I don't think would have powers. Same thing with Kobe and Koza. On Krieg. Um, hmm. No, I don't think so. Fumadori, definitely not. Uma would be a stupidly powerful, um, like a stupidly powerful airbender with, the way that his paw fruit worked. Dr. Kuriha would not have powers, neither would, Kuro or Lafitte. Law would also be a ridiculously powerful airbender with the way that he constantly swaps things around using his Ope no Mi. Um, okay, so he has the Stitch root. Um, I mean, that could probably manipulate the earth, but like, I'm not really sold on it. I don't think he would be very good at it. Rob Lucci, I don't think would have powers. Lucky Roo, considering how fast he is probably a pretty good airbender. And Luffy, especially with Gear 5 and the fact that literally changes the environment around him, he's one of the most powerful earthbenders on the list. Makino would not have powers. Marco would be a ridiculously powerful firebender. Um, I mean, there's nothing about him that really screams a particular power. Because, like, I don't really want to just do the fact that he could do a lot of sword strikes manipulating the air, so I don't think Mihawk would have bending powers. Same thing with Momonga. Um, Gecko Moria. No. Gecko Moria is a no too. Um, Bon Clay, I think, is also a no-go. Nami, I think, would be a pretty good airbender because of the way her climate tag works. Nojiko would not have powers. As we discussed earlier, all the fishmen would be very powerful waterbenders. I don't think Orlumbus, Ors, or Pacifista are having any powers. Same thing with Polly. Pell has a bird devil fruit, so he probably is a good airbender. Corona, I don't think her power favors that. Same thing with Rayleigh and Rage U. And same thing with Ryuma as well. Sabo would be another very powerful flame user, and I'm really tempted to put a Kainu in the top firebender spot, but like I can't convince myself that it would beat the whole lightning bending connection that I made earlier with Enel. Sanji would also be a very powerful firebender. Um, Sengoku, I don't think would have bending powers. Same thing with Shanks and Sachi and Kiryu. Like I think all these people, Spandam, Stussy, I don't think any of these characters have powers at all. Okay, Usopp has plants, so I think he's a good earthbender. Van Augur, probably not. Same thing with this. Okay, Wapple is interesting. I think Wapple might be a good earthbender because of the way that he could like munch on shit and then kind of manipulate it that way. Um, Yasop, I don't see having powers. Same thing with um Yonji and Zeph and Zoro. Caesar's Devil Fruit deals in gases, so I think he would be an extremely powerful airbender. Um, Caribou's Devil Fruit has like mud powers, so I think he'd be an earthbender, but just not very good at it. Um, Horizon manipulates the sound. I think he would be a good airbender. Dellinger is a fishman. So I think, wait, does Dellinger have a devil fruit? Okay, he does not have a devil fruit power, so he would be a very powerful waterbender because of the fact that he's a fishman. Um, Diamante, with the way that his ripple fruits work, I think that he would be a decent earthbender. Fisher Tiger, once again, we have the Fishman argument. Um, uh, Hannibal, I don't really see it. Same thing with Kinemon and Horus Jr. Magellan has poison. I don't think that translates to a bending ability though. Pedro wouldn't have it either. Same thing with Shiki probably. The Booger's definitely not. Virgo is a no, and Full Body is a no. Okay. All right. There are a lot more characters than I expected that actually would not end up being benders, in my opinion. But honestly, considering the ones that are, I'm pretty happy with this tier list. I especially like the kind of reasoning I laid out for every one of these. But yeah, that is gonna do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any other ideas for tier lists or ways you want me to rank One Piece characters as, or just any video idea, just let me know in the comments down below. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.